Have you ever trusted someone so deeply that you couldn't imagine they were capable of betraying you? Only to watch them burn everything down, including you, just to feed their ego? Let's get into this story. My name is Marissa. I'm 26 years old, and honestly, I don't even know where to begin with the catastrophe I just lived through. All I can say is this. I never thought I'd lose everything because of the very person I called my closest friend. I'm sitting here in my tiny apartment, no job, my professional reputation in absolute ruins, blacklisted from the field I worked so hard to break into. And it's all because of my former best friend, Jenna Lawrence. Jenna and I had been inseparable since college, the kind of friendship where we'd finish each other's thoughts, text each other at 2 a.m. just to vent, and show up for every milestone in each other's lives. When we both landed jobs at the same consulting firm after graduation, it felt like fate. She worked in project operations. I was on the administrative side. Since our departments didn't overlap much, there was never any tension or competition. Seemed perfect. Jenna was the ambitious one, always chasing certifications, networking like it was a sport, and treating every quarterly review like life or death. I admired her drive, even though it sometimes made me feel like I wasn't doing enough. She was laser-focused on climbing the ladder, while I was just happy to have a steady paycheck and decent benefits. Then there was Nathan Harper. He worked in Jenna's department, a senior analyst, quiet and reserved. I barely knew the guy beyond a polite nod in the hallway, but Jenna mentioned him occasionally as being sharp and reliable. The trouble started when a highly coveted overseas position was announced, a one-year leadership assignment at the firm's London office. It came with a hefty salary bump and major career prestige. Jenna had been dreaming about this exact opportunity for months. She even started taking evening courses in British business regulations to strengthen her resume. When the job was finally posted, Jenna kicked into high gear. She asked me to review her application multiple times, spent countless late nights perfecting her presentation, and even practiced mock interviews with me. I was genuinely rooting for her. Then everything shifted. Nathan applied for the position too. Suddenly, Jenna's usual competitive fire became something else entirely. She ranted endlessly about how men always get these roles, convinced that Nathan had applied purely to block her path. She complained that the system was rigged, that no matter how hard women worked, they'd always get passed over. First I sympathized. Corporate culture can be brutal for women. But as weeks passed, her obsession with Nathan grew darker. She saw him not as a competitor but as a deliberate enemy. She dissected his every move, convinced every neutral action was part of some grand sabotage. When the decision finally came down, Nathan was selected. That was the day Jenna snapped. I'd never seen her unravel like that before. Sobbing, shaking, ranting about how the company was sexist, that Nathan had stolen the job that was rightfully hers. I spent hours calming her down, thinking it would pass. But it didn't. Over the following week, Jenna's behavior spiraled further. She began dropping biting remarks during meetings, making vague comments about certain people getting opportunities they didn't earn. Her bitterness seeped into everything. Then one night, after we'd both stayed late at work, Jenna revealed something that chilled me to the bone. She confessed she was setting a trap for Nathan. She claimed she was going to build a harassment case against him, intentionally putting herself in situations where they'd be alone, baiting him into saying something that could be twisted against him. She said she'd been hinting to co-workers that Nathan made her uncomfortable, laying the groundwork for her complaint. At first I laughed nervously, thinking she was blowing off steam. But her face stayed deadly serious. Her words made my stomach churn. I told her outright that she was crossing a line. But Jenna wouldn't listen. She said it was the only way to correct the injustice of losing that position, that sometimes women had to fight fire with fire. Days later, she put her plan into motion. She stayed late under the pretense of finishing a report, knowing Nathan would also be there. The next morning, she stormed into my office, claiming he'd made an advance toward her in the break room, complimenting her looks, suggesting they should get to know each other better with his new assignment. She showed me screenshots of texts that seemed slightly flirty but honestly looked like innocent work banter. Nathan had asked if she wanted to grab coffee and praised her work ethic. Jenna insisted these were inappropriate. She'd already set a meeting with HR and demanded I back her up as a witness, even though I hadn't seen anything firsthand. I felt trapped. HR launched an immediate investigation. Nathan was suspended pending the outcome. Gossip exploded through the office, with everyone whispering about him. Jenna, meanwhile, soaked up the sympathy, portraying herself as a brave whistleblower. But cracks appeared fast. The external investigator interviewed everyone, including me. I couldn't lie. I admitted I hadn't witnessed Nathan behaving inappropriately, and that Jenna had only recently started mentioning her discomfort. Then came the bombshell. The company pulled security footage from the night of the alleged incident, footage that showed nothing even remotely close to harassment. Their interaction lasted less than 2 minutes, both acting completely normal. Nathan, in his defense, submitted complete screenshots of his conversations with Jenna. It became obvious she'd cropped her screenshots to twist his words. Investigators uncovered even more. Jenna had been researching harassment complaints and legal loopholes weeks before filing her report. Her web history was damning. Her timeline didn't match. She was caught. The company's verdict was swift. Jenna was suspended immediately, pending termination for filing a false report and trying to sabotage an internal investigation. When the news broke, her fall from grace was spectacular. People she once called friends abandoned her overnight. She called me in hysterics, sobbing that the company was protecting Nathan because he was a man. She begged me to defend her. But after everything I'd seen, I refused. She accused me of betrayal and hung up on me. In the following weeks, Jenna's life completely collapsed. She was fired, blacklisted in the industry, and even threatened with legal action for defamation and misconduct. Nathan was cleared of all wrongdoing, reinstated to his London assignment, but he opted to transfer to another department afterward, too exhausted by the ordeal. The most horrifying part. I learned this wasn't Jenna's first time pulling these kinds of stunts. Old co-workers came forward, sharing stories of how she'd manipulated others, exaggerated complaints, or thrown colleagues under the bus to get ahead. She'd been bad-mouthing me too, telling people I was a jealous nobody who didn't understand ambition. It was the final blow. Our entire friendship had been a lie. She'd never truly cared about me. I was just another pawn in her games. The last I heard, Jenna moved to a different state, working retail and desperately trying to rebuild her career. She reached out to me on social media a few times, switching between fake apologies and angry rants blaming me for abandoning her. I never replied. I finally understood the hard truth. Some people will burn everything, friendships, careers, lives, just to avoid facing their own failures. And Jenna, she got exactly what she deserved.